Apologies for being late. I got done in one of the Olympic lanes rushing here. So good old Olympic lanes. Anyway, we're all here. And here today to talk about and announce a couple of fights regarding George Groves, Joe Saunders and Frank Buglioni. George, who's been out of action for a little while through injuries and unfortunately lost his opportunity of, I think, a title fight he could have won against Robert Stiglitz, is now going to be fighting next week in Vegas. Got a 10-round fight against Francisco Sierra. It's on the WBC Interim Welterweight Championship card featuring Rob Guerrero and Selçuk Aydin, and these fights will be broadcast by Fox Nation. George hopefully comes through this fight okay, then we'll be back in London, and I don't want to tempt fate because things happen in fights. I'm sure he's not feeling that way, nor is his manager and trainer Adam Booth. But then we'll be back in London for Friday the 14th of September, where George will be headlining a show at Wembley Arena, which for me will be a big show. We're going to look at a couple of options. It may be a rematch with Kenny Anderson, but we are looking at a couple of options. We'll announce the fight after George comes back from the States, hopefully with a success and with no problems. On the card also will be Billy Joe Saunders. He'll be defending his Commonwealth title against opponents being named. As I said, Frank Buglioni will be on there, Bradley Skeet, Gary Kokora, Mitchell Smith and Eddie's Hassan. The reason I mention all these guys' names, all the ones not here, because this is a London card and I want to see big boxing back in town. It was a fabulous night we had on Saturday with David over there, and again, congratulations to him for a magnificent win. And it shows you that fans in London come out for big shows, and we feel that there's a big audience there that's been neglected for a while, probably because of the fights big fights that have been taking place in Manchester and lately in Liverpool. And we feel that we've got some boxers here, headed up by George at the moment, who are capable of taking London by the throat, bringing the fans along so we can build up the game, big shows like it used to be years ago. Wembley's a fabulous boxing arena, a lot of history there, not far from where he lives, and in fact most of the guys are pretty local to it. It's not a big journey for them. So the objective for me as a promoter, build up London, build up big fights in London, headed up by George. I'm determined to get behind George now and really push him. He had a little bit of bad luck with his injuries, but now he's back in the game. I'm going to throw the whole weight of my promotions behind him to get him a world title fight, get that world title shot in London, and that's what we're looking to do within the next 12 months. And so this is going to be the first of those big shows. So as I say, hopefully it comes through okay in the States, and that's what we'll be able to do. Regarding Bill, he's now 14 fights undefeated. He needs to be pushed now. He's been nominated against Murray for the British title. That's at the first bit. So that may be the fight on the card, I'm not sure yet, but whatever happens, it will be the title fight. And that's the same regarding Frank and the rest of the guys on the undercard. It'll be about them learning their training, coming through, and hopefully a couple of years in time, being in a position that George is in. These guys are all big ticket sellers. You know, you see Frank fight, you see Bill fight, they bring a lot of fans along. And so there's a couple of kids on there, young Mitchell Smith, they've got good following, so there's going to be good quality crowd participation. There'll be the crowd to get behind the fights, and as I say, hopefully it'll be the first of many, many big shows we'll be doing on a regular basis here in the capital. Anyway, all the guys are here. Ask, please feel free to do so.
George, you must be pleased you're getting the push that Frank was just talking about.
Yeah, of course, yeah. It's a bit frustrating for me, I've had a few injuries and obviously haven't been as active as I want to be. I'm concentrating fully on the fight this weekend in United States. This was a challenge, boxing abroad. I'm a good guy, Francisco Sierra, he's a very good fighter, great for everyone, so I can't look past him. But it's great to know that when I do beat him over here, I've got a nice big show to come. start the new season off back in London. Being able to build a big fan base from London has always been important for me. Obviously with the help of having a great undercard, fighters like Joe and Frank on the undercard is going to help. So I'm looking forward to it, exciting times ahead.
You've boxed in the States before?
Yeah, I boxed out in Vegas 2 years ago. It was a great experience. Obviously this is very different out there. It's a different culture of boxing, so that's something that hopefully I can take experience from that time for next weekend. One thing you end up, because their main events are very early, like 8 o'clock, so you can end up ring walking at 5 or 6 in the afternoon, which is something that I'm not used to now. So you have to be prepared for anything that's thrown in front of you, and hopefully in the future I'll be having big world title fights, maybe out in the States, so it's good for me to get out there as soon as possible.
You concerned at all about being inactive in this time?
No, I don't think so. I've been putting in great work in the gym. I had quite a long time out after the Dig Al fight. Came back and knocked Paul Smith out in 2 rounds. So I'm not fussed about having time out. As long as I've been doing the work in the gym. I probably had 3 back-to-back training camps, and literally as I get closer to boxing, something has cropped up. Fortunately, this time I'm fit and healthy. I plan to stay that way, and I can't wait to get out there and just show the improvements that I've made.
Same question to Adam, pose any concerns for you?
No, each time he got injured it was right towards the end of each training camp, so although the only thing he's missing is the ring time on a fight night, but in terms of actual training time and improvements, he's had as much as he would have done, if not more, because he sort of bounces from one straight into the other, trying to hurry up and get the fight in. So it's been frustrating for him not to be in the public eye, but it's been satisfying for me to see the improvements that he's been making, and I'm just really looking forward to seeing him actually doing this stuff for real under the spotlight.
Can you just remind us, George, what the injuries were? Were they all different ones?
Yeah, the first one I was scheduled to fight Kenny Anderson earlier in the year, and I got back injury. Got received a sparring a few weeks before the fight. We were desperately trying to get back to full health for that. Didn't run out of time, so that fight fell through. Then I was out training in Cyprus for my WBO shot against Robert Stieglitz, and got a nose injury. Ended up dislocating the cartilage in my nose, so obviously couldn't spar and couldn't fight. It's obviously an injury that, apart from sparring, I could do all the other training, so I didn't suffer in that respect. I was able to keep myself fit and healthy. We tried to get the fight delayed, but it didn't work out, so I had to bide my time till next weekend. So I'm in good health.
So it was the 2 injuries, really?
Yeah, just 2 injuries.
Do you feel you've benefited, from the fact you've got some sustained work in?
Yeah, sometimes it's good
gym?
to get to have prolonged time in the gym without being a high-profile fight where you come under scrutiny. And
Have you learnt new stuff in that time?
Sorry?
Have you learnt new stuff in that
Yeah,
time?
I'm always learning new stuff. Yeah, week in, week out.
What's the position with Anderson, Frank? Is that out to purse bids?
It's out to purse bids.
So you're bidding at the moment, right?
We'll bid again for it.
Yeah.
We may do a deal, who knows, but
When's the deadline for that?
I think it's next. Just bringing up the sellers. I think it's next week. I think.
Yeah.
Sometime. I think it's, sorry, not next week. The week after the first board meeting in August. So I'll be there. We know where we are. But whatever happens, irrespective of the win or we don't, we'll fight on that day.
Will they be opening your bids at the moment?
Well, I should have a licence holder.
Yeah.
That's where we are. I mean, I don't see why there would be any problem. I was down there yesterday, spent sort of a pleasant afternoon with the board yesterday. So,
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned, we've got. I want to emphasise this. I'm not trying to bring down border control. Far from it. All I want to do is to see. I always try and do the best I can for the guys I'm involved with. Derek Chisel was my man, and I did the best I could for him. As far as get him into a big fight that would make him some money rather than signing on the dole. That's where we are. But the guys here, you know, as I said from day one, I'm determined to make sure all these fellas get the best out of our organisation. And Bill knows that, and certainly Frank knows that. They've signed me, and George and Adam, I'm going to show them what we're capable of doing and delivering.
You were saying about putting on more shows in London. You're starting off next season at Wembley. Will you be going around different venues?
We're going in London. My son Francis and my other son George will be doing their Queensbury shows. They'll be doing, they've got, I think, 8 dates or 9 dates planned, and all of those will be in London. So there's been a lot of boxing in London. You know, that's the name of the game. We're lucky. We're involved with a channel that is dedicated to boxing. That had a real good day at the races over the weekend. So there, as far as subscriptions are concerned, on the business plan, they're 3 times more than they 3 times better right now in the position they should be as far as the business plan is concerned. So that's a great success story, and it means that we'll be able to put on bigger and better shows. You know, and that was always the name of the game. We're not beholden to anybody. You know, we're doing our own thing in the same way probably as that David did his own thing with Haymaker. We're doing our own thing. We're not beholden to any TV company, and it's good to be in that position because we're flexible with dates. We're not our shows are not planned around football or Formula One. Our shows are planned around what's convenient for us and the boxers. And I think, you know, in the 7 short months that the show, that the channel's been encrypted, it's been brilliant. And it's been a bit frustrating. It was very frustrating to start with. It's tough financially, very tough financially. But, you know, we're getting there. And we've sort of come on in leaps and bounds, I think, over the last few months. And for these guys, it's going to be great exposure. And as I say, it enables us to push them and deliver the fights they want, the world title fights here in the UK. You know, I'm a big believer in if you can get the home advantage, and that puts us, you know, the channel puts us in a position where we'll be able to do that, and that's great for the British fans.
You get a big hike in subscriptions last weekend?
Very much so. As I say, it's 3 times more than we anticipated being at this stage of the game in the Box Nation business plan.
So it's enabling you really to provide a lot more work for boxers, isn't it, in the moment?
More quality and more work. We're dedicated. You know, we're not having to worry about what football's on, you know, what rugby's on, or cricket. You know, it is what it says on the tin. It's boxing. And we got, you know, and our numbers now are good numbers. So we've got good subscription base, and we've got all the Golden Boy shows. We've got all the Saunders shows, who's you know, very big, probably the biggest promoter in mainland Europe. We've got many other promoters as well. We're doing Bob Arum shows, we've done Don King shows, so it's good. And we'll be hopefully dealing with other promoters as well, other British promoters.
What's your world title ambition, George? Frank said, you know, maybe in a year or so. Do you see yourself as a world champion in a year?
Yeah, it's a realistic target, definitely. If injury hadn't struck me down, I think I'd be world champion now.
I agree.
The Robert Stevens fight would have been a great fight for me. It came with conditions. One being that the winner would have to fight Arthur Abraham, who's a contender. We know he's been about for a long time. He's boxed at the highest level, so that's the calibre that I would have to be mixing with. And you know, if I can get good, meaningful fights, then I'll take them. And then when the opportunities arise, like the WBO shot did, then, you know, we'll consider them. More than likely, we'll take them. So I just want to improve. I want to be busy. You know, I've had time out of the ring, so getting back in the ring, get some rounds under my belt is probably the most important thing. But you know, from there, I'm happy to take anything that comes along.
It's frustrating for somebody when they get injured. You know, Bill had the same thing with his hand injury, the operations on his hand, and it's really, especially when a young guy is, it's a very important part of the development in their career. It is frustrating, not just for them, it's also frustrating for the teams that work around them. But you know, touch wood, they're all okay now. We can move forward and deliver what we said we would deliver, which is a big fight.
Is the hand 100% now, Bill?
Yeah. I mean, I'll have to check up with Mark Lane in Manchester. They've done it fine, ready to go.
You've been fairly active this year, Billy. You pleased the way things have progressed?
Yeah, very pleased, very pleased. Frank told me I was going to be busy and stuck to his word, kept me busy. Well, more than what I should have, so I think I'm one in the front. So I'm very happy where I'm at the minute, and as he said, I'm mandatory for the British. So I can't ask for much more at this stage in my career.
Would you prefer British or Commonwealth style fight, Wembley? Any particular preference?
Do you know, it don't really matter as long as I'm I don't know if I'm defending. If I'm defending my title, I'm there to defend it. But if I'm fighting for a new one, you know what I mean, it gives me the sparring again. So both really, I can't really lose.
What about yourself, Frank? At your stage of your career, it can be great to fight on being undercards for big fights.
Yeah, of course. It makes it so much easier being on the undercards of George Rose and Billy Joe to sell tickets and get people there, and it's great to be busy as well.
Any idea how many tickets you would sell for Wembley now?
I'd say 500 plus, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Billy Joe, you've been touted as the world star. Is that a lot of pressure on you, mate? You've been touted as maybe being a world star. Is that a lot of pressure on you, really? Why do that?
No, I just go day by day really. It's in the gym, hard work, and I know that as long as I put the hard work in, I know my ability to get me where I should be, and that's to the top.
But your family always been quite supportive.
Yeah, I've got a good family around me, my dad and that, he's always there, and a good team around me, Frank and Jimmy. So, you know, I'm with the best, so I can't see why I should be mixing with the best. So.
Question for Frank Buglioni. How do you find being done the gym with competition?
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, the amount of experience they've both got, and Mark's coming through with the enthusiasm and all the new stuff as well, scientific, with the strength and conditioning as well. It's great. It's a great position to be in.
And you quite pleased being out again, quite very being out.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, I just want to be busy, keep fighting, and learning in the gym in between as well, which I'm doing. So.
Any good sparring in middleweight in the gym?
Yeah, so keeping me busy.
We're selling tickets. Are there any other questions? Any more questions? Thanks. Apologise again for being late, and thank you for your support.